So today we're going to be talking about priesthood, ministry, and priesthood, and how this was a gift from God to men and women, that we should have fellowship with Him. And you know, the thing about ministries is that not only ministries, it's not only to people, but first it's to God. And how the enemy is so cunning, how he always tries to rob you or finesse you out your ministry with God. So I'm going through Exodus 28. Garments for the priesthood. Now take Aaron your brother and his sons with him from among the children of Israel, that he may minister to me as priest. Aaron and Aaron's sons, Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. And you shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother, for glory and for beauty. So you shall speak to all who are gifted artisans, who I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they may make Aaron's garments to sanctify him, that he may minister to me as priest. And so that's when the Lord revealed to me that priesthood is the ability to minister to God. Now, he had already chosen Aaron. So what's happening at this point is that God is talking to Moses. He got him on the mountain. He's talking to Moses. And he's already chosen Aaron and his sons and his descendants after him to be ministers and priests, and to bear the sins and inequities of the children of Israel. So chapter 28, verse 38. So I'm in Exodus. So it shall be on Aaron's forehead, that Aaron may bear the iniquity of the holy things which the children of Israel hallow in all their holy gifts. And it shall be always on his forehead, that they may be accepted before the Lord. And here's another one. And they shall be over Aaron's heart when he goes before the Lord. So Aaron shall bear the judgment of the children of Israel over his heart before the Lord continually. And so continually, constantly, God is saying, Aaron shall take the sin offerings, burn it on the altar, the heave offerings, the wave offerings, all for the children of Israel. And he should be the mediator. This is how we have a priest who's always the mediator. Now this is where it gets tricky, because as God is telling Moses this on his mountain, you go to chapter 32, and now we have the golden calf. Now when the people saw that Moses delayed coming down from the mountain, the people gathered together to Aaron and said to him, Come, make us gods that we shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man who brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him. And Aaron said to them, Break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughters, and bring them to me. So all the people broke off the golden earrings which were in their ears and brought them to Aaron. And he received the gold from their hand, and he fashioned it with the engraved tool and made a molded calf. Then they said, This is your God, O Israel, that brought us out of the land of Egypt. So when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it, and Aaron made a proclamation and said, Tomorrow is a feast to the Lord. While this was going on, and Moses is up there in the mountain with God, this is what God says to Moses. And the Lord said to Moses, Go, get down, for your people whom you've brought out of the land of Egypt have corrupted themselves. They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made themselves a molded calf and worshipped it and sacrificed to it, and said, This is your God, O Israel, that brought you out of the land of Egypt. And the Lord said to Moses, I have seen this people, and indeed it is a stiff-necked people. Now God was ready to do them. He was ready to do them. And he was ready to start all over with Moses. He was like, look, man, I'm finna go and get these people out of here. Because God is a jealous God. And the disrespect that God has just literally dismantled the Pharaoh and his whole kingdom. And then gave y'all riches, freed y'all. And then out of all the people, out of all the hundreds and thousands of people, they come to Aaron to make the calf. And Aaron, wanting to please people and our God, chose to use his members of his body, which is his hands, and come up with a way, say, hey, look, everybody get all y'all gold earrings, get your rings, get everything you got. We're going to make a calf. And the Israelites were foolish enough to give glory to a golden calf that was made by their hands, to say that this is the one who freed us, when they have seen the miraculous works of God. Now that's where things get crazy, because how many times do we do that? How many times do we allow the enemy, when we see God working on our lives, but to give glory to something else, especially to break the enemy knows how to get us to do it precisely, break a law or commandment that the Lord despises, to put us in error. Because God specifically said, I am a jealous God. You shall worship no other gods before me. And while God is up there on the mountain giving Moses specific details on how he's going to use Aaron and bless Aaron, the people are down there choosing Aaron as the one to make the golden calf out of all the people. It's not a coincidence. And so this is how the enemy gets us, man. The error was lack of patience. Sometimes your blessings can be right around the corner, and the enemy will know that your blessing is around the corner. And so what he'll do is he'll use the people right around the corner and right in your proximity to trick you out your spot and shatter your ministry. And so while God was finna destroy these people, Moses ended up saying, but Lord, what would the people say? What would the people say to you? What would the other gods in the nation say about you? They was like, dang, did he just free them and bring them out just to kill them? So Moses in his wisdom knew how to approach God in his anger, because we serve a God who doesn't operate out of anger. And so he said in verse 13, chapter 32, verse 13, remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, your servants, to whom you swore by your own self and said to them, I will multiply your descendants as the stars of heaven. In all this land I have spoken of, I give to you and your descendants, and they shall inherit it forever. So the Lord relented from the harm which he had said he would do to his people. And Moses turned out and went down to the mountain, and the 2 tablets of the testimony which were in his hand, the tablets were written on both sides. On the one side and on the other side they were written. Now the tablets were the work of God, and the writing was the writing of God engraved on the tablets. And when Joshua heard the noise of the people, they shouted. He said to Moses, there's a noise of war in the camp. But he said, it's not the voice of those who shout in victory, nor is it the voice of those who cry out in defeat, but the voice of those who sing that I hear. So it was as soon as he came near the camp that he saw the calf and the dancing. So Moses' anger became hot, and he cast the tablets out of his hand and broke them at the foot of the mountain. Then he took the calf which he had made, burned it in the fire, and ground it into powder, and scattered it on the water, and made the children of Israel drink it. So another key point is that even in God's anger, he's not going to make a decision. Even in his anger, he's not going to make a decision. And so this is why scripture tells us that his anger is for a little bit, but his peace And His forgiveness is from everlasting to everlasting. But this is a grave story right here, man, because this is what Jesus came down here to do for us, to put us back in right standing with God, to be our mediator, to be our priest, and to make things as they were in the plan before Adam and Eve fell out of position. When God came looking for Adam, He said, "Where are you? Adam, where are you?" It's not because He didn't know where he was at. It's the fact that He knew that he wasn't in His priestly chair for fellowship. And so God, all knowing, is like, "Oh man, did you eat from the tree I told you not to?" So now God had to put death into the world, so that way we can get a restoration. Because if He didn't put death into the world, sin would have lived with us eternally and forever. So God had in His infinite plan had to bring Himself down through His Son, beat the chains of sin, death, hell, and the grave, to put us back in right standing, to have fellowship and to minister with God. Because God used to come in the cool of the day and just rap with Adam. "How was your day going? Tell me about this, tell me about this, tell me about this," just like a father and son. You know what I mean? Fellowship, ministry. So the message is that the enemy is always looking for a way to silence your ministry. He's always looking for a way for you to commit a sin and break a law that's displeasing to the Lord. That way your silence, your ministries, the good news, the testimonies that you have, all the goodness that the Lord want to do for you, He want to silence you. And you know what sin does for us? Sin has shame on it, and it runs us away from God. When we are operating in sin, it makes us run away from God. When before sin, we will be running to God. Adam needs to run to God, and you grow in the level. Once you are redeemed and saved, even when your errors, you learn how to run to God. But you operate truly in sin when your lifestyle has you running away from God. And when you live in that life that you're running away from God, that's a great indication that you're going the wrong way. When you start operating in a way to where you're not praying, that's a big one. You stop praying, you stop reading, you stop looking up, because that guilt and that shame, and then you start operating so long, you don't go to church no more. You don't remember the last time you prayed. You don't remember the last time you gave thanks to God, because you're tied down with sin. And so this is where the enemy always wants you, because your testimonies are true. God says, man, I already knew the goodness that I had for you, the good plans that I had for you. But when you see, God loved us so much that He gave us free will, because God could have easily said, look, I'm gonna make some robots. I ain't gonna tell them, but I can make them only love me and serve me. But see, this is the thing about that. If God did that, that would make Him a liar. It wouldn't be that. It wouldn't be the fact that He lied to us. It's the fact that He lied to Himself. And God is all truth, and He can't lie. How great is that to serve a God who can't lie? So He said, you know what? In order to have true fellowship, we're gonna have to give them free will, and we're gonna have to let them choose. And so a lot of times, because we have free will, we think we know it all. God be trying to speak to us through the Holy Spirit to say, hey, go this way, don't do this, keep this way. But the enemy can consume your mind and your thoughts and your peers, and you'll end up listening to either yourself, your friends, your family members, just like Aaron did, and you'll be in error. And then now you'll be down a whole nother path. All it takes is one little and what happens is, as you keep going, if you keep going that way, this is the way that God got for you. This is the way that you chose. If you keep going that way, look how far you get off the path. Now imagine doing that for a whole year, 2 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years. And so this is why it's important, man, to read this word, to stay prayed up, to seek God's counsel, through all things, man. Because the enemy is that roaring lion who's always seeking to devour. He always comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Steal your identity. Steal your belief system. Kill your belief system, your faith. Have you out here don't know what to believe? Have you believe in everything except for what God called you to be? Have you believe in everything except for what God said? And destroy your path, destroy your future, destroy your destiny. Kill, steal, and destroy. And so thank God that we serve a God who is so gracious and compassionate that he said, look, because as the story goes on, he still made Aaron the priest, not because of Aaron's works or Moses' works or any of the Israel's works, because we serve a God who's a covenant keeping God. And he said, you know what? I made a covenant to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Israel, and I'm going to keep that because I'm a covenant keeping God and I don't lie. So I'm going to keep that and I'm going to honor that because I did that amongst myself. And so that's what God did. Abraham still became Aaron still became a priest. But Aaron got tripped up. So be mindful. Stay on your P's and Q's, man. Because the enemy is always after us, man. He's always trying to trick you in any kind of way to put you in error in the heavenly courts to where he can press charges against you and say, hey, he trying to speak, but guess what? I have rights to attack his life because this man was just watching porn. Hey, I have rights to attack his life because by law, this man right here was at the strip club drinking. And your law says, hey, I have rights to intervene in this man's home and attack his life and destroy his ministry because he was just beating on his wife. And your law says, hey, I have legal rights in his life to attack his life and his ministry because he was cheating on his wife and he broke his covenant in marriage. And your law says, see, this is how the enemy's always trying to play us. Through the laws, through the courts, judgment. You see what I mean? All this, God is a judge, a righteous judge. And he wouldn't be righteous if he didn't oppose wrath, if he didn't stand on his laws. But thank the Lord that his son came down here to expunge your record, if only you believe. You see what I'm saying? So, don't let the enemy, man, bring you to court, man, because hell is a lot worse than the feds, homie. So all glory be to God. Take advantage of the blessings that we have to be able to be in fellowship with the God, the creator of all. Can you imagine that? The one who created the planets, the whales, the moons, the sharks, the trees, the ants, every single animal that you're infatuated with, that he actually knows your name, that he actually knows the numbers of hairs on your head, that he actually loves you. And we serve a God who doesn't require you to bleed for him, but we serve a God who will bleed for us. Deep, ain't it? So, man, let Jesus expunge your record. Because we all sinners, man. And the evil one is always trying to take us to court. And he's trying to devour you and catch you up. He's trying to put you in them chains. That's for eternity. That come with flames. Hell is a lot worse than the feds, bro. So, all glory be to God, man. Profound story by Aaron. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for the revelation that you've given me to share to your children. Hopefully this touches somebody in their heart. Good night.